Hey, it's Bree and bitch. I have a story for you. So I literally just woke up and I decided now is the time to film. Okay, now is the time to film because I really don't like to go like more than 2 weeks without uploading something, and it's already been a week. So now is the time to really get into what has been going on in my life. If you really enjoy my content and you catch all the live streams and this and that, then you know that like these last couple of months, I am such a drama queen. These last couple of weeks have been very difficult on your girl. The last 2.5 weeks have just really been like emotionally traumatic. Seriously, I feel like I went so far backwards with like the progress that I made as a human being in these past 2 weeks that I'm finally in a place where I could sit here and be regular Brianna and talk to you guys in a headspace where I'm like clear. There's been a lot of confusion on my end, and I'm pretty sure on you guys' end, because I have over 100 DM requests on Instagram. So the girls are either concerned or very nosy. As you guys can tell by the title, I am going to tell you the story time of how I met my deadbeat dad for the first time ever in my life. And I lived with him for the first time ever in my life in a whole new state. And I am going to tell you everything. One thing I do want to say is this, because I know the girls are going to get in the comments and invade my privacy. If I'm not talking about something in this video and you get in the comments and you're like, well, what about this? I don't want to talk about it. I'm not addressing it. Now that we've gotten that out the way, let me tell you about my dad. So maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I don't feel like looking at like my actual channel, but a few weeks ago, I did a live stream and I was like, watch me cry because my life is falling apart. And in that live stream, I talked about how like my lease was up in LA and it was looking like I was going to have to move out of state, and LA was like my home, and what was I going to do? Yeah, if you saw that live stream, that's literally the beginning of the story, because after that live stream, I proceeded to literally throw everything away. I'm talking about I threw makeup away, books away, thousands of dollars worth of clothes away. Like, I know that like a lot of my videos revolve around, oh my God, I'm poor. Oh my God, I can't keep a job. YouTube is life. But your girl had some pieces. She had some things. And, you know, from talking to my dad, I had actually, let me really clarify that. So I actually met my dad in June last year. So I think this will officially, no, I'm lying. So I officially got in touch with my dad like 2 years ago, because it was 2017 and now it's 2019. So from June of 2017 up until like that time of the live stream that I spoke about, we had only talked on the phone. We made plans for me to go to Ohio and visit, but I was so like, it wasn't really a priority to me, because every time I was like, okay, I can't do LA anymore. I'm gonna go to Ohio. Something else would pop up. Like I would get a good job, or I wouldn't be able to get time off. It would always be something, and I would always put the money before going to Ohio, because in my mind is like, well, what am I going to do in Ohio anyway? You know what I'm saying? If I go to Ohio, I definitely want to have my own money. So I'm just going to stay here and I'm going to work. We had just been communicating over the phone. So when my lease was up, and, you know, if I was on live stream sobbing, you can imagine how I was when I called my dad. He made me feel like, you know what, stop the crying. I have a solution for you right now. You're coming out here. You're starting your life over. And that's that on that. And y'all, like, I already felt like I needed that. I already felt like I needed a fresh start from LA, because so much bad stuff was happening to me back to back to back to back that I started to feel like LA is not even my home no more. Like, this place is fucking attacking me. That's literally how I felt. My conversation with my dad that day, it really honestly wasn't even long. He was just like, pick out a ticket, you're coming out here, and it is what it is. And I was telling him, I'm like, do you know how much stuff I have? I don't have money to get a storage. Like, my whole mindset was like, I don't want to pay for a U-Haul because they're advertised for $19.99, and then you get there and they're $60, $80. I don't have that. I have way too much stuff. I'm emotionally attached to it. I don't want to throw it away. The way my bank account was set up, there's no way that I could clean the room and get out to Columbus at the rate that he wanted me to do that. And he was just like,
you need to throw that away. I'll buy you everything new.
And like the tone in his voice, bitch. Like, if you were on the phone and you heard like how assuring and how positive and how refreshing it sounded to call someone and have a solution and feel like, you know what, this life here isn't working anyway. I have somewhere to go where I could drop everything and start over and breathe. Like, my dad was talking about, you don't have to work for 2 or 3 months. I just want you to get your mind right because I know what it feels like to feel like, you know, you barely have your head above water. Like, y'all, I don't really want to keep repeating myself, but my dad was really saying stuff that convinced me that it would be worth throwing out thousands of dollars worth of clothes, books, makeup, like whatever you keep in your room. I literally started throwing that stuff in the trash. Let's say I called my dad on Monday. I flew out of LA that Sunday. Like, that's how quick it happened. Now, there's a vlog. You guys saw the vlog. I documented my entire experience leaving Los Angeles. I really did. My first day in Columbus, where the end of that, like where that vlog ends, where my dad picks me up from the airport and it's like, oh my God, we're hugging for the first time. You know, that was like a cute moment. But now I could care less about that moment. And I'm just going to keep it all the way true. Like, I could care less about that moment. Like, yeah, it was cute for like the vlog or whatever. But like, when you really realize how people are in real life, who cares? Who really cares? Our first dispute was after I landed and we drove around for 30 minutes before deciding to go get breakfast. So we're sitting down, we're eating breakfast, and we're having like a regular father-daughter conversation. What do you want to do with your time here in Ohio? How are you going to make, you know, the best of these 2 months where I'm going to be providing for you and you don't even have to work? Like, what are you going to do with that time? How are you going to take your channel to the next level? And I'm sorry, I just have to sit back and just kiki a little bit, because sitting here right now telling this story, it's like, girl, first of all, I don't know if he was pretending like he had interest in my channel, or if he had genuine interest in my channel, he just doesn't understand how this stuff works. And it's like, that's why the conversation went left in the breakfast place. But I was still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, you guys. He was basically telling me that I was a follower, that I started my channel because I was a follower, that, you know, the dreams that I have outside of this channel are based off what I saw other girls doing. And I was like, whoa, you gonna have to chill out, because you're talking to the wrong girl. If you were talking to anybody else, that might apply, but you're not. So I'm just gonna let it fly all the way out the window. He was kind of like testing my patience. I don't know if he was testing my patience or if it was God. And I was just like, okay, well, like, I'll give you like a little bit of an example. I was showing him samples that I had came up with, logos that had been created. He was talking to me like I was one of those people that all I do is talk about my dreams. I actually don't go out there and execute them. And I kind of thought it was funny that when it was time for me to pull out receipts, pull out samples, pull out invoices for like, okay, this is how much things are going to charge, then all of a sudden he wants to change the subject. I found that to be funny, because it's like, oh, okay, like, so you know everything. You know the entire thought process of why I'm doing what I'm doing. But when I tell you, no, it's because of this. No, I've actually done my own individual research. Here's the proof. Oh no, I already know how much it's going to cost because I've been in discussion. Do you want to see? Do you want to pay for it? Let's get it started. Oh no. Oh, okay, maybe some other time. Like, I was really paying attention to stuff like that because I don't like people like that. We eat breakfast, we drive around. This was probably around 8 o'clock. And he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna take you to this store. So he takes me to this store called City Gear. City Gear, the best way I could describe it would be like if you're a girl and you go in a Foot Locker and it's like, you know that Foot Locker is a man's store. You know that Lady Foot Locker exists. but you, for some reason, you went into Foot Locker because you know that they have a woman's wall. That's what City Gear felt like. It felt like I walked into Foot Locker, I walked to the woman's wall, I don't see nothing here. Why'd I even come in here? This is a man's store. They had some styles that I liked, but the colorway to me was just not wearable. It was just not my style at all. And so I left them right there on the shelf. And girl, he actually started to get offended. Like he made it seem like I went in that store with a complete attitude. I wasn't even trying. Like I don't dress myself every day. Like I don't know my style. And I understand that that probably sounds however somebody wants to twist it in the comments. I'm willing to accept however that sounds to you. Privileged, spoiled, bratty, ungrateful, all of the above. But I was actually there in the moment, and I know that it was just like, oh, okay, like she's not interested in anything here. I won't bring her here again. This is not her style. Boom, boom, boom. Simple. It was really that simple. So much stuff happened just within the first day of being with my dad that is like, I don't even know how to flow this story, because we'll be having a good moment and then boom, I just get punched in the face with some tomfoolery. Like we will literally be having a good moment, laughing, getting along, and then he'll just say something that's so out of pocket or just so against my character, my morals, what I stand for, and I just gotta bite my tongue. And this was like, I have never bit my tongue so much in my life, because it's like, oh, I've been talking to this man on the phone. I don't want to show him my crazy side. But he was hitting all of those buttons that made me want to snap. Like after we left the store, we got in another argument about which direction or which mall to go to. And I was so confused. But I was adamant that we were not leaving this Columbus area until Urban Outfitters opens. So what do? We waste more time, drive around, sightsee. There was nothing to sightsee, but we just drove around, and then boom, finally Urban opens at 11 o'clock. And then I go into the Urban. It was terrible. It was nothing like what I expected. Like, you know, like I was disappointed with the selection. I'm just gonna be honest. I was very much underwhelmed with what that Urban had. So I felt stupid because I was begging and I was so serious that we needed to go into Urban Outfitters, and I walked out of there with $250 worth of crop tops. I found nothing in that store, and I knew I was going to get it because I didn't even walk out of there with a pair of shoes, and I knew that I was going to hear something. He couldn't just pay for the clothes and give me a peace of mind as we walked to the car. He had to give me a peace of mind as we stood at the register. This is what you got?
This is what we drove all the way here for. This is what you're choosing. This is your style. This is how you dress.
Like, girl, I thought his head was going to explode at the cash rep. You literally need to roast me in front of this girl, and she just told you $250 on like 4 crop tops, a crew neck, some pant. Like, I was embarrassed on multiple levels. After we left Urban, we literally just wasted the rest of the day. We didn't go to any mall. We didn't do any more shopping for the rest of that day. I guess I must have really irritated my dad, but it was kind of like disappointing because this whole idea and expectation of what I thought my first day in Ohio was going to be and what I thought my interaction with my dad was going to be was completely thrown out of the window. And I literally spent the whole first day in Columbus not even really wanting to reach out to my friends and family back home because I kind of wanted to maintain this, I'm happy, my life is better, like this is so good for me. We ended up driving an hour away from Columbus into Dayton. And then in the evening, we went to dinner. And that leads to my other vlog, my surviving a tornado vlog, because my first day in Ohio, there were like 6 tornadoes, and we were eating at Buffalo Wild Wings. The people were like, you know, if anything happens, we're gonna tell you guys to go into the bathrooms, literally like an earthquake drill, you know, like when they tell you like get under the table, find shelter. Girl, it was raining hard as hell, like end of the world raining, and my dad decides we're gonna leave this restaurant. Mind you, the restaurant manager was nervous. The waiters were nervous. Like our waiter was literally on the verge of tears. He's like, my wife is at home with a baby and the tornado is heading straight for her, because I believe that the tornado was like 15 minutes away from the restaurant where we were eating. And my dad was just like, fuck this, we're leaving, we good, da-da-da-da-da. And I literally was so confused by him because I'm like, the people on the news are telling us to stay put. The people in the restaurant are telling us to stay put. You just saw a grown man almost cry and you want to go out into this weather? We went out into this weather, but that kind of like raised a red flag to me. Like, so there could literally be a tornado coming and you don't care? And I've never lived through a tornado, so I was petrified. You don't even care about the fact that I'm scared. We just out here. Okay. Basically, we drove back to my dad's girlfriend's house. And that was like the second strike or like the second punch in the face. It was his second strike, but it was my second slap in the face from the universe, because I feel like if you're my dad and I never met you ever in my life, you could at least tell me that I'm going to be sleeping on an air mattress in the living room at your girlfriend's house. Like, that should have been a conversation that we had over the phone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm sleeping in this woman's living room. I don't even know this woman. The first day I meet her, you're telling me all this stuff like, oh my God, she's gonna be jealous of you. She's bitter. She's mad. And then you get in a full-blown argument with her during a tornado when we don't even have power. On my first day here. Like, it was just so much ghetto-ness going on that I could not wrap my head around it. Like, there was nothing normal about the situation. There was nothing normal about telling your daughter that she could throw her life away and come out here to sleep on an air mattress with a manual pump. Every time you think it could not get worse, it did get worse. I promise you. Man, I was really like just biting my tongue, being grateful for the new opportunity. I was really just trying to find any opportunity to find a silver lining, because I feel like when I was home, I was already in a negative mindset, and this was my time to like release that. If I could say anything in this video and be 100% honest, I can say that I did not come to Ohio with the same toxic traits and the same toxic behavior that I left LA with. I went to Ohio meeting someone who had never met me before. Obviously, I was on my best behavior. Obviously, I wasn't going to treat my dad the same way I would treat my family back home, people who are used to my mood swings and stuff like that. Like, I continuously gave my dad the benefit of the doubt. And he did a lot of weird stuff the first day that I got there. You know what I'm saying? Like lying about where you live and then telling me you never lie to your kids. You only care what your kids think about you. You looking pretty unstable, player. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like leading into the second day. We go back to this store.
City Gear.
I don't know what his obsession was with taking me to City Gear when Forever 21 is like a nationwide store. I would have been so much more grateful if he took me to Forever 21, if he took me to H&M and I could have found stuff, versus taking me to an athletic wear place. So we go into the store. And it was like his local store. So like the people in the store knew him. They were familiar with him, whatever. And he tells me, okay, pick out whatever you want. So I'm in there. I'm not seeing any shoes that I like because, like I said, there's only like a women's wall. And I'm looking, and I'm not seeing anything that I like. And so I'm just like, can I get these white Air Force Ones? My dad is like, no. Bitch, that took me all the way back because I'm like, you told me to come in here and get whatever I want. I only have one pair of shoes. And the one pair that I pick out that I think I could work with, you're going to tell me no. And then you're going to pick out some shoes that are like 500 different colors and think that I'm going to wear that. Girl, I could not believe how he reacted in that store. He was literally, when I say humiliating me, when I say that my dad humiliated me in that store, I'm not over exaggerating. He was walking up and down the store at the top of his lungs. Oh my God, I can't believe this. What's wrong with her? Why did she dress like this? Over some shoes that I didn't like that he picked out. And you know what that said to me? Oh, so he's trying to dress me. Like, he's telling me how I'm going to dress. So he's trying to control me. Because for the life of me, it made no sense. For the life of me, it made no sense why someone would get so mad at the fact that like our taste was different, or that I was picking out shoes that I feel like could be worn with multiple outfits. And it's like, I picked out these black pair of Dunks. And I picked them because they were black. And on one side, the swoosh was red. On the other side, the swoosh was blue. Simple ass shoes. He loses it.
Oh my God, you dress like a boy. I can't believe you will buy boy shoes.
And I'm saying, like, at the top of his voice, he was saying this. Like, it wasn't even in his adult brain to come up to his child and tell his child, hey, like, I don't know if you know, but these are actually boy shoes. Like, I would prefer if you picked some girl shoes, which I did. I picked some all white Air Force Ones. I don't... Girl, I was really trying to compromise. But when he started screaming at the top of his lungs and trying to embarrass me in the store, that's when I was over it. He was literally going ballistic. I am an adult. I have not lived with my parents in 4 years. And you're a parent that I don't even know. And this is how you gonna handle me in public? I couldn't take it. When we got in the car, I was looking at the shoes. I was looking at his reaction. Even if they were boy shoes, I picked them because I could pull them off. So you don't even have trust in the fact that I can dress. You're just going to tell me that I like to dress like a boy. I pick boy clothes and this, that. You're literally going to attack me, insinuate that I'm some... Girl, I don't even want to go into it because I'm not going to get hate comments on behalf of his ignorance. But he was basically insinuating that, like, you know, I was homosexual, that I like to dress like... He was saying stuff about me that I have never heard in my life. And this was my second day with him. So I called my auntie. I told her what was going on. I was livid. I was literally like angry, crying. And it's like, at that time, I was only there for 2 days. And my auntie was on like this Oprah Winfrey, like, oh, you guys just need to communicate different. Like, I was the one who constantly had to be the bigger person. And it was like, I'm not the parent. Regardless of how I felt, I still tried to apply what my auntie was telling me and the advice that she was giving me because I cared about her. And I wanted to make her proud, especially being 3,000 miles away. I wanted to do what she felt best so she could feel secure knowing that I was okay. You know what I'm saying? So even though I knew how I was feeling about my dad in the moment, I still tried to take her advice. I still tried to find, you know, positive solutions. After the whole situation in the City Gear store with him yelling at me and just embarrassing me in public, I could not forgive him for that. I couldn't. We went back to his girlfriend's house. He got in an argument with me. He gets in an argument with the girlfriend. And I'm just like, is this the kind of, like, I was judging him because I'm like, this is who you are? This is not the person that I was talking to on the phone. Like, I felt catfished, bamboozled, honey, bamboozled. And I'm like, okay, so how many days am I going to walk around here with one pair of shoes? Like, I'm just really starting to think, like, was this worth it? Is he worth it? I don't want to say that my second impression of him was like the nail in the coffin, but it's like the first 48 hours with him, I got a good taste in my mouth of who he was because people with that personality type, that's who they are. Like, we don't need to sugarcoat it. Like, sometimes with me, I could be a certain way and then sometimes I could be another way. But when people are like my dad, that's who they are. Because people let them get away with being like that. So why do they even need to change? You know what I'm saying? After that second day, it's kind of like all the other days after that just blurred into one experience. Like, after that situation in the store, you know, the next day he was gone. He left me by myself. When he left, I woke up, his girlfriend was there, and I was kind of like having a little conversation with her. And I was like, is this how he is all the time? Like, give me, you know, a guideline. Like, tell me, like, how should I interact with him? You know, like, still trying to bend over backwards, still trying to compromise and be a daughter. You know, be a daughter to a dad, because I've never been that before, ever in my life. And, you know, she starts showing me bruises, talking about, oh, you know, this is what he did to me before you even got here. I'm tired of him. And it's like this. I am feminist and I've dated some trash dudes myself. So another mistake that I made, besides throwing all my stuff away and moving there so quickly, was trusting my dad's girlfriend. That was a major fail and a terrible decision that I made. It was terrible for a lot of different ways because if you never met your daughter, how are you going to build a relationship with your daughter when you have a toxic relationship with your girlfriend? And you know who your girlfriend is and you told me that she was going to be bitter. Why did you bring me into that situation as a dad? When I'm alone with her, she's telling me your business. She's showing me that you're a woman beater. And of course, the feminist in me is like, oh, okay, so this is who he is. He likes to control women, like I said, telling me I can get whatever I want, but then telling me I can only get what he wants. That's controlling. And then being physically abusive to women. So there's some kind of toxicity here. I was listening to her vent. I was hearing her point of view as a woman, and I felt like she wanted to be heard. And on top of that, I was grateful that she let me be in her house because she didn't know me from anywhere. She didn't have to let me stay there. And I made it clear to her on multiple occasions, like, I don't think how he treats you is right, but I'm so grateful that you're letting us stay here. I'm sorry that this is your experience. You don't have to put up with this. You don't have to go through this. Like, I was being a good person. I was being a good person to this woman, a genuine person to this woman. And in the end, she turned on me like it was an episode of Game of Thrones. Oh God, man, some stuff we go through, it literally is to make us better. And I feel like at the end of the day, everything that I went through was to make me better, because the situation with my dad got so bad where, he would be gone all day and I would have peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? And then he would come home and he would start an argument if he would see me and his girlfriend talking to each other. If he just saw us talking, he would pick one of us to attack. He would come in the house, I would pretend to be asleep. I was waking up every day angry, bitter, suicidal, depressed. I woke up every single day, and I hadn't felt like that since I was like a teenager going to court-ordered therapy. That's how low I felt. I couldn't pray. I couldn't be spiritual. I just felt alone. I was tweeting little stuff here and there. None of my friends was like reaching out to me, and they knew that I was in like a whole other state. None of my friends was reaching out to me. So I felt like I had to continue to secretly maintain this persona, because it's like, if I'm tweeting like this and I'm saying that life is hard and y'all know that I'm not at home, why are you not reaching out to me like a friend? Girl, I'm telling you, being in Ohio literally rearranged. It literally rewired how my brain worked. I see the truth from the way that my friends acted to the way that, I just felt like I was damn near in an emotional prison. I could not be myself. And I know that that's true because as soon as I got off that plane and I touched back down in California, I felt like Brianna. Like, I could breathe. When I was in Ohio, I could not breathe. I was constantly being told that my passion, this channel, was a joke. It was a gimmick. You know what I'm saying? I was a follower. It wasn't going to take me anywhere. He constantly compared a YouTube channel to being Superman, and it is nothing like that. I'm not going to wake up one day and get some kryptonium or whatever Superman used to make him Superman and become Superman. But you know what I can do? I can take advantage of my life and my situation, all the experiences that I have been through, and I could start a channel and I could share that and I could connect with people. Yeah, that seems fucking realistic compared to being Superman. You can't even compare those things. And he kept comparing them. And it was just like, okay, you don't understand. You have to continue putting the work in. Beyonce didn't become Beyonce just because she said, say my name and can you pay my bills. She had to keep coming out with hit after hit after hit consistently. I mean, damn, I'm not even trying to go on a rant, but these are just things that it's common sense to anybody who actually has a dream that they want to pursue. There would be arguments where my dad would make me pack my stuff up in the middle of the night, talking about he was going to drive me to the airport. I started to realize that my dad was a narcissist. He was misogynistic. He was controlling. He was the exact kind of person that I tried to avoid. And I was living under his roof, completely dependent on him. So the third time that he made me pack my stuff up at 6:30 in the morning, that was kind of like the final straw, not just for me, but for my family back home. Because then they started to feel like, okay, so what is really going on out there where this girl keeps packing her stuff? You're talking about you're going to drop her off just at the airport. You don't know what plane she's going to get on. You're not even going to buy her a ticket. That's how petty and ruthless he got. Because honestly, without going too much into depth, it was just like I was fighting to be myself. And I feel like I already went through that. I wasn't trying to go through that again. Like, I've already fought to be the Brianna that you're watching today. And it has not been an easy journey. And I'm sure that it will continue to not be an easy journey. But I really felt like all the work and everything that I went through to be where I am today, mentally and like even personality wise, he wasn't a part of that development. And I feel like he tried to undo everything that I fought to be. There's nothing wrong with me. There's things that I could work on, and that's anybody that's in their 20s. That's what your 20s are for, to work on yourself. But it's like to literally put me down constantly and to tell me that I need to live by the final straw, which is how I ended up back in California. Basically, I don't know where him and his girlfriend went. I was in the house by myself and I didn't care because I was editing my tornado vlog. So I was being productive. They came back, and as soon as they came back, they brought like my uncle or something over. So I meet my uncle for the first time, and my dad proceeds to humiliate me and make it seem like, I don't like to groom myself. I'm lazy. This is literally what he said. Like, I was lazy. I was unproductive. All I do is sit in the house all day. He doesn't come home because it's depressing and I depress him. And it's like, nobody wants to hear their parent describe them as a burden or a nuisance or someone that they don't want to be around. I literally went outside and I cried for 20 minutes. For 20 minutes, I just cried to myself because my dad was ruining my relationship with my auntie, so I couldn't call her because we were mad at each other. And then I just felt absolutely alone. I felt like my dad made me throw my life away to sabotage everything that I worked for. Everything that I worked for. I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was constantly under attack. And I really was. Like, it wasn't like I was just making it up in my mind. I'm not the kind of person that will go outside and cry for 20 minutes alone. And I was. And my dad's girlfriend was coming up to me like, oh, is everything okay? Do you want to go home? Just tell your family that you want to go home. Now, I'm thinking that she was like being a good person and hearing me out like how I did for her on multiple occasions. But now that I know the truth, I know that like she was telling me to tell my family that I want to go home because she wanted my dad back. When my uncle left and my dad and his girlfriend came back, it was kind of like my dad started another fight with me. I'm minding my business and he's just like, my family cares about you too. They want to know you too. And I'm tired of you treating my family like they're just pieces of crap and you don't have to respect them. And I'm just like thinking to myself, well, everyone you're introducing me to, you're bad-mouthing me. You're painting this picture of me that's totally false, telling people that I'm goth, telling people that I dress like a boy and that I like to dress like a boy, telling people that I don't shower, telling people that I just lay around all day. It was literally insane, the stuff that he was telling people. And then he was acting like, well, why isn't she being friendly with my family? I didn't reply to any of those allegations. And then he turned on the air conditioning. Now, I'm borderline like anemic. Like, I am anemic. And everybody knows that anemic bitches are always cold. So not only would they always have the air conditioning on, they would like chain smoke cigarettes in the house. Like, this was like the 60s or something. Like, literally doors, windows closed, only the AC blasting, and then they're smoking like 5 or 6 cigarettes back to back. So what really, really popped it off, you guys are not gonna believe this. I got this crew neck, I put it on, and I was like, I'm always cold. That's literally what I said to myself. I was like, damn, I'm always cold. I said it so low, and I said it to myself. As soon as my dad heard me say that, complaining about being cold, when he heard me say that, he looked at me in my face and he was like, I don't know what the fuck you're complaining for. It's not like you pay any fucking bills around here. I'm the one who pays the bills, so what does it matter to you? And I looked at him with like the strength of all my ancestors. I was so ready. And I know that this is like a full grown man, but I'm telling you that something inside of me snapped. 2 weeks of verbal abuse will do something to somebody like me if you have a personality type like me. I don't like to be bullied, bitch. I was just like, you know what? I could just hear the Lord in my ear. It was this side I was hearing the Lord, this side I was hearing my auntie. And so I tried to go out of the back. Like, it wasn't like a patio area. Maybe it was, but there was like a sliding door that led to outside, and I tried to go out of the back of the house. My dad gets up, follows me, grabs me by my crew neck, pushes me into the window, and is like, "You're not going outside." And I'm looking at him, my fists are balled, and I am fuming. It's like when you're so mad you can't even make a sound. Your eyes are just bulging. You are just infuriated, bitch. We was just having a stare down, y'all. We was just literally having a stare down. And I went and I tried to let myself out of the door again. I was consistent with that. Like, oh my God, we need space. We need to be separated. So I went, tried to do it again. He pushes me into the dryer. And so I'm standing by the dryer. I'm fuming. I'm like, he did it again. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get how normal people operate. Like, bitch, I'm giving you space. You're mad at me. I'm mad at you. I'm giving you space so we can breathe. What's not clicking? So at this point, my dad's girlfriend conveniently comes into the kitchen, and I'm just like, okay, me and my dad are obviously getting into it. I assume that you think that this is obviously the perfect time for you to wash dishes. It's like my dad went from like a 10 to a 12, bitch. Like, it was like her presence just gave him energy to be more abusive. He starts talking about, "You're so rude. You're so disrespectful. You've been using all her stuff. You've been making her uncomfortable in her own home." And I was like, I'm making her uncomfortable? Mind you, I didn't say not one sentence this whole time. I'm being pushed. I'm being shoved like a rag doll. I'm not making any comments. But when he said that I made his girlfriend uncomfortable in her own home, when I listened to her vent and talk about my dad day after day after day over the span of 2 weeks, and I never snitched on her, I always offered her an ear. I was always empathetic. Like, dude, I was so kind to this woman. He didn't even turn to the girlfriend. He just pointed at her and was like, tell her right now that she's been making you uncomfortable in your own home. It was like everything around me slowed down so I could capture every moment. And I'm looking at this woman in her eyes, like how I'm looking into the camera of my phone. And she turned around from those dishes and she looked me in my fucking face and she said, "You know, I'm sorry for what you're going through, but you really have been making me uncomfortable in my house. I mean, you're using all the water." Whatever she said after that, it was just like silence. Because I looked at my dad and I just started swinging. It was like, I don't even know. I was completely sober, but I was drunk off of rage. And, I'm not proud of it whatsoever. I don't think it was cool at all. I don't regret it at the same time, but I wish it never happened. Like, wig came off and everything. It was a physical altercation. And that leads up to the biggest reason why I'm filming this video and the biggest reason why I'm calling him a deadbeat dad. He tells me to pack my stuff. I had already packed my stuff like 2 nights before. That's what my living situation was like. So it wasn't like I was going to take forever to pack because my stuff was already packed. So he sees me packing up my stuff and then he comes up with this petty, evil ass thought in his mind that he's going to take back everything that he bought me. Mind you, I threw away thousands of dollars worth of stuff. So for him to decide that he was going to take back the few things that he bought me was like ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it wasn't even my style anyway. So I was just like, here, take it, have it, whatever. So I'm thinking like, okay, take your shoes back, take your clothes back. Girl, he saw me with my camera bag. And he's like, give me that too. You're not taking a camera. You know what you're taking from me. It's more than that. And my voice was breaking. So then he like takes my camera bag and he flings it. And I'm like scanning. I'm trying to see like where my camera flew to. And because the way that he like tossed my camera bag, I'm like, let me just see if he broke it. Oh my God, y'all. Like, he took my camera back, make a long story short. Yeah. He took my tripods back, batteries, bitch. Like, man, that was when I knew that I don't have any respect for you. You've been calling my family and telling my family that I hate you. Now I really do hate you. He threw my suitcase outside, did the same thing with my duffel bag. So at this point, I'm just like crushed and devastated. I'm walking down the street, I'm crying. My dad and his girlfriend leave. They see me walking down the street crying, and they drive right past me. And I call my auntie and I'm like, I'm locked out of the house. But then he gets on the phone with my auntie and tells my auntie, oh, I'm going to CVS. I'll be right back. But I was outside for 2 hours. He got mad at my auntie because she got me a hotel room. So I was just supposed to sit outside from 2 p.m. to 8 or 9 or 11 p.m. by myself and just pee in the backyard like a dog? Like where was the lesson in that? And then having my family call me and tell me, oh, maybe you just need to try this. Maybe you guys need counseling. Your dad's just old school. And I'm like, old school? What does old school mean? Is old school mentally abusive? No, that's not what it means. He just wants you to be a certain way. I know how to carry myself. That whole time I was in Ohio, all I kept hearing was grow up. You need to grow up. You need to do this. I just felt so alone. I hated being myself. And so it takes a lot of energy. Like filming this video, I had to stop a lot of times and get my energy back up to finish the video because I just want to go and enjoy my life and enjoy this new chapter because making this video is officially closing that chapter of my life. I met my dad for the first time. I did the vlogs. I tried to turn a negative situation into a positive situation. I tried to maintain this outlook that things were going to get better, and they weren't. And that's how I ended up back in California. I feel like I was literally born again, and I sit here and I'm an entirely new human being. You don't know how much strength it takes for me to sit in front of my phone and film a video because I'm that dedicated and I'm an entirely new person. And I'm kind of cool with who this person is because this bitch learns her lessons. This bitch doesn't make excuses for people, and this bitch puts herself first, period. You guys always say that I bounce back, and I really do. I really do bounce back. I will be filming off my phone. We make our dreams come true on this channel, and that's just what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video because I know through all the negativity, there was really a lot of you guys that were genuinely concerned about my well-being. And, I'm solid now. I'm straight. I'm back in California. And I feel like I'm in a place where I can sit down and talk to you guys. And yeah, with that being said, that's the story of how I met my dad. And it sucks that it didn't go how I wanted it to go. It sucks that I'm probably never going to talk to him again. But, he's alive. I know what he looks like. He knows what I look like. And that's that on that. If you guys like this video, go ahead and turn that thumbs up below. Support your girl. Get those fingers moving in the comments below and tell me, how do you guys deal with living with toxic parents? If you guys are currently living with toxic parents, feel free to message me if you guys are going through anything. I kind of have been avoiding my messages because it's been a little bit too much. Some of you guys care. Some of you guys are just being nosy and I'm just trying to tell the difference. But yeah, real shit. I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for being literal angels. And I mean that. You guys don't even know what this channel means to me. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.